If you would, please come to order. We're going to welcome Reverend Jeremy Yancey with Timber Creek Church. And if you would, please all rise. We'll have our opening prayer.
Dear Heavenly Father, the further away we get from you, the more our lives are troubled. The closer we get to you, the more our lives are transformed. So today, in reflection, may we get closer and closer to you. The closer we are to you, the better our marriages. Better marriages, better families, better communities. Ultimately, it's a better nation. And it all comes down to getting closer and closer to you. We ask that we would reflect on that in our own lives and bless this time together. The leaders, we ask in the name of Jesus, the strong Son of God.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Reverend Yancey. And I'd like the record to show that all the members of the court are present. And if you would, please follow Commissioner Cheshire in our pledge to the U.S. flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And follow Commissioner Harrison as we pledge to the Texas flag.
On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Thank you. Everybody be seated. Oh. All right, now it's time for the public forum, except for items that, like y'all are already on the agenda for something, so you don't need to address this, but anybody that would like to speak to any item on the agenda that is not specifically listed, do we have any except for item number 7? Okay. We can, since item number 7, if you would, let's wait until that comes up on item number 7 and we'll address that all at that same time. If there's anybody that would like to speak to an item except for item number 7, none coming forward, we'll close the public forum and move on to item number 5, discussion action on minutes for January 14th, 2020 Commissioners Court. Gentlemen?
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, gentlemen. Item number 6, appearance of Michael G. Parker, Everett Rivet Jr. and Associates, to discuss and request approval of the final plat of Long Pines Phase 2 and Precinct 3. Michael, good morning.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners Court. This is the second phase. We brought Phase 1 of Long Pines back in the fall of last year. This is second phase on John Cobb Road and Jerry Van Road. This is approximately 11 lots that either front on John Cobb Road or Jerry Van Road. They vary in size from 2.8 acres up to 20.9 acres. They all have plenty of frontage for the lots. We've got the utility easements and the road easements adjacent to each one of them. I have talked to Commissioner Pitts, and I think other than we just need to make sure that they put in the right size culverts along the road out there is a concern, but that will be addressed each time. But I will entertain any questions that you may have, or and ask that you approve the final plat of Long Pines Phase 2.
I don't have any issues with it, Judge.
All righty.
Motion to approve.
All
Second.
right. We have a motion and a second to approve. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. Sally has the plat.
Thank you, sir. All right. Item number 7, discussion action on Sundale Street, CR 47, a county-maintained road just outside the city limits on Highway 69 north of Precinct 1. If you would, please state your name for the record, and we'll go ahead and proceed. Okay.
I'm Brenda Tier.
Andrew Landrum.
Wayne Looper. we all live on Sandell Street, and we're trying to give it to the county.
Right.
And so, we'd like to give the warranty deed to the county to have the county maintain it and it be a county road.
All right,
Could I
Commissioner?
say something?
Sure.
From what I understand, this has been on my roads list for years. I mean, I've been here 5 years, it was here before I come here. So it's a county-maintained road. Everything was done on it, I don't know what it was, a long time ago.
80s,
80s, yeah.
82 or 80,
But the thing
81,
about-
somewhere in there.
I've never been able to find it where it was put in record. And I think that was our only biggest problem there. But what they've done here, that I understand, that they went back and got it all signed, sealed, and delivered like it should have been in the first place. And I guess we'll just need to take it back in again and then make sure it's put in record.
Make sure it's done. Counselor?
Counselor?
Carrie? This, do you have a copy of this? I had an extra copy for you. I didn't know if you had a copy of this. It was delivered to us this morning.
I'm not sure if I do or not, Judge, I have some documentation on it.
If you would, please.
Greg, has this been under prescriptive easement for the past however many years?
Yes.
Essentially? And
Yes.
it's just not on the
It
deed
just-
list?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen maps of it, you know what I'm saying, over
It's
the
been a
years.
county road all along.
Yeah, we've been doing this for how long now? 3 years, 2 years, 5?
I've been working on getting this settled for 7 years at
Okay,
least.
Going back
I
and
must
forth.
took
And
it in
before
when I
that, my
first
mother
come
was
in.
working on it.
Right, okay.
You've worked on it ever since you've been?
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's just time to put it to rest, you know, for these folks, so.
Yes, sir.
As I understand the issue, and I think we've been here before on it, I don't think there's any doubt that there's a county right-of-way on this roadway. It's been county maintained for years and years, but the issue is that, we've got, the way it was originally set up, we've got one landowner that owns the, underlying property. The county just has a road easement. And, I think she's wanting to, convey that underlying property to the county, so that's the issue, whether the county wants to accept that or not.
Your recommendation?
I don't have a recommendation on it. It can be done, it cannot be done. It's, with most roads in the county, they are, county roads, they are, consist of public easements only, and other people own the underlying property.
Right.
Usually it's just limited to the property, or the roadway right in front of the property. In this case, because of the way it was set up, the single landowner has the roadway for quite a distance. I think
Right.
it's about 2.5 acres total.
Great.
Are we taking?
So-
But, I
I'm
mean,
sorry.
I guess, so, there is the issue that there are a lot of roads that, folks own the underlying property, but
Understood.
normally it's not to the whole roadway for the neighborhood, such as this
Yes.
case.
Commissioner?
Anybody have any objection on this road?
No.
Greg, what's the standard of the road right now?
It's-
It's a good road.
I mean, it's good.
Muddy and got some potholes in it right now, but I mean, just like the rest of them.
Tell me what road don't, but, I mean, I got potholes everywhere.
Right.
Ari,
I mean,
it's
is it-
better than the first part.
Is it old,
Yeah,
is
it
it
really
old
is.
sand, is it rock, or is it dirt?
Well, for a ways there, it's asphalt, and then when it comes in, I guess to that area where you guys are at, it's a rock road.
Okay.
And we put some rock on it, I think was last year, and then we went ahead and done that far end down there.
Y'all put rock on it, the first part of it, my dad put
Yeah,
tons
yeah.
and tons of rock
Tons and
on
tons
it.
of rock on it,
And
yeah.
so we put the base on it ourselves.
Right,
He
I mean,
built
it's a-
it- He
it's a-
built it
it's
back
a
in
good-
the 80s.
right. So there's one sole owner of this 2.5 acres, is that correct?
Well, the three of us are the owners of the thing, but we're not the only ones that live there.
Yeah,
And
that's
so
what I was
there's,
getting at.
there's
Y'all
one
are-
person that owns 13 acres, and so, I mean,
I mean, the whole 2.5 acres that is considered county road now.
there's multiple people out there.
But in answer to your question, yes, that is, it still went to the heirs. The
Yeah.
road was never, instead of the 25 foot of a 50-foot wide easement, they're looking at the whole 50 foot for the entire length.
Up and down,
They're
you
talking-
know.
So y'all are paying taxes for everybody
Yes.
else's
Yeah.
use, basically.
Yes.
That's where I was going with
Most
that.
That,
The other
that's,
adjoining landowners do not own any of the property underneath the roadway, so
Right.
the In this case, you have a single landowner
Right.
that's paying the taxes.
And that's the way it was set up. That's why we're trying to straighten
And
it
when we
out.
die, who's gonna pay it?
I'm sorry?
And when we die, who's gonna pay it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think, obviously to Commissioner one, but,
Yeah,
I would make a
Commissioner.
motion to accept it,
yeah, I would entertain a
With
motion
approval
at this
of-
time.
precinct
Commissioner.
one.
Do you want,
Commissioner.
do you want us to accept it, or do you wanna leave
I
it?
think, yeah, I think it needs to be accepted,
So moved.
because I've been maintaining that road since I've been here.
Yeah,
Thinking it was a county maintained road, you know what I mean, but it didn't.
But you basically been maintained under prescriptive easement anyway.
Right, right.
Well, it is a county road.
It is a
Yeah.
county
It is.
road.
yeah.
It's
It
County Road 47.
Yeah, it's on my county roads list, you know,
It is.
so.
So moved.
All
Second.
right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank y'all very
Thank
much, and
you.
sorry it's taken so long to get this done.
And so will y'all follow it, or do I need to follow it, or?
Judge, perhaps we need some direction on that from the court, but I'd be glad to handle the transaction, but there does need to be, there's going to need to be a legal document conveying the property.
I have that right there.
And,
Yeah, they got the survey.
It's got a warranty deed in the deed, but we will have
but
to,
as
I'll let
far
the
as
county.
underlying property, there's still going to need to be a legal transaction conveyed.
All right.
I can
County's-
amend my motion.
We'll take care of, the county attorney will handle it, and yes, he will get back with y'all.
Okay.
All right.
I need to put that in a motion.
It might not hurt to give me some direction to prepare the documents. And
Instruct the county attorney to move forward with paperwork to make it legal for the county to own this road.
Second.
Okay. And we have a second to the amendment. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The amendment passes also. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, neither one of our judges, Judge Harrington, y'all please come forward. I'll put y'all in. I know that y'all are in court today. Take y'all out of alignment here.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, let's skip down to item number 9, appearance of Judge Paul White, 159th District Court, to request approval to exceed budget item 010-045-4157, visiting reporter of $4,000 due to the loss of court reporter and no pending applications. If I might, before we get into this, on these two particular request, we have one also for George Harrington. Under advice from counsel, the county attorney, for these particular two items. We understand that this is gonna be an acknowledgement of what's going on, but we're not gonna actually take action on it on this particular item because it is a budget transfer type item. And other than the fact that we're acknowledging what's going on, we're gonna wait for the actual over budget item to happen before we go to the next step. And so my recommendation is for this one and
11.
number 11, to table both of these for the time being until there actually is a budget
Until they're actually a deficit.
excess, yes.
I'll make a motion that we table, 9 and 11 till it can be further reviewed and action taken.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second on item 9 and item 11. Any further discussion?
I would like for him to explain it where we know more
Certainly.
about what's going on.
Certainly, well, it's gonna be,
During the
that is going to be
discussion.
explained in the
Okay.
next one.
Okay.
But that is, but if you would like to go ahead, we can go ahead and explain. Judge White, you want to address this?
Be glad to. Good morning, Commissioners and
Morning.
Judge, and may it please the court. Thank you for, where's Miss Sally? I don't see her,
No,
but thank you for getting her on, getting us
she's
on,
still answering the phone, so.
getting us on the agenda so promptly. At the end of December, I was notified that my court reporter was leaving for a higher paying job out in West Texas. And I was confronted with having to post for the position of the official court reporter, and we've now been confronted with the reality that we may not get any applications. Judge Harrington's been seeking applicants for his vacancy as well as a court reporter since December. And so I've spoken with the executive director of the Court Reporter Association, and they're trying to secure us candidates, even those directly out of school. But looking at the pay scale, that's very unlikely to occur. My reporter literally left for a salary twice what we pay. And counties around us are now going to an alternative method of reporting court proceedings called a court recorder. That's a person, not a machine, but it's a court recorder. If I may approach the court, I have an exhibit for each of you to see what those rules are. Mr. Cheshire, if you pass this. But I will exceed my budget this month for using a visitor reporter. And so I stand corrected. I haven't exceeded it yet, so this just needs to be a notice to you all that that's going to occur in all likelihood. And quite frankly, every time I reappoint an auditor, one of the things that I always hear from commissioners and other people is, well, you know, they're really hard on me when I go over the budget, okay? And people don't like it when she has to tell you, or he has to tell you, the auditor, that you've exceeded the budget. So I'm telling you all in advance, I'm going to bust my budget for a visiting reporter until I get that position filled, okay? And that was the reason for that. And I want you to know, if I don't have a reporter, I can't have court proceedings. If I don't have court proceedings, your jail population continues to stay high and increases. Right. At the current rate, that's $50 times 134. You do the math. That's a lot of money every day. So I will be needing to have a transfer at some point for a visiting reporter until I get my position filled. Is that a good enough explanation,
Yes,
Commissioner
sir.
Pitts?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I was
We're
wondering,
prepared to handle the problem, but we didn't want to do it until it actually happened.
And I was giving that notice out of abundance of precaution, but I will exceed it probably next week when I start a murder trial, and but we'll work through that. Anything else on that agenda item that's been tabled?
No, that,
Can I proceed then to my next one?
just one second. Then we need a motion to go ahead and table
we
this.
got that motion in
Okay,
second, we're in
what about the
discussion
second?
now. We got it,
Okay, in discussion.
we
All
just
right.
need to vote.
Any further discussion?
Can-
Okay. Okay,
This
all in
doesn't have,
favor?
this doesn't have anything to do with the motion, but before we move on, I don't know who to ask. What's the pay scale for a court reporter should be?
Well, currently, in fact, I'm glad you asked. I can give you some information if you'd
Please.
like to know about that.
Yes, sir.
Our county pays for our court reporter position $55,414. Liberty County, which is south of us, which has about probably $6,000 to $8,000 fewer citizens, they pay a pay scale of $93,000. Walker County, which is probably about 20,000 smaller in population, they pay a court reporter $78,000. Cherokee County, which is north of us, again, probably 35,000 in population smaller than us, they pay $71,000.
We're way behind.
Yes, sir, we are. We are. And, but be that as it may be, there is another alternative that I'll be proposing in the next agenda item.
Yeah, okay.
We're gonna discuss it
Thank
next.
you.
I understand.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just
Thoroughly.
lost one to Nacogdoches, and what was that pay scale over there?
Judge, if, I don't have that information. Judge Harrington may very well.
By moving to Nacogdoches, got a $13,000 a year raise
Increase, okay,
in salary.
okay, thank you. All right. All in favor of the motion as it stands? Table it? Any opposed? Motion passes to table that. All right, now let's go to item number 10, appearance of Judge Paul White, 159th District Court, to request approval to modify the title of the salary position from Reporter 159 to reporter/recorder, 159. The court anticipate utilizing an electronic recording system with an operator known as an electronic recorder. Yes, sir.
Thank you. I've handed to you an exhibit for your review here, which has been a statute in effect in the government code since 2003. The first page is a summary outline of the description of what, in every court proceeding, a court reporter, which is what we've had traditionally, and also what a court recorder must do. The second page of that exhibit, though, Commissioners, outlines the additional duties of a court recorder. Because of our tradition, there seems to be a great reluctance to go to the electronic format. And quite frankly, I'm convinced that it can be every bit as good and maybe even more reliable than the traditional means. But again, this is not a machine. It is an operator, they call a recorder, that uses a different machine rather than the stenographic machine that the court reporter uses. And incidentally, I have a visiting recorder that I'm using this week for 3 days. I've got 2 more days, today and tomorrow. I sincerely invite you to come to the district court to observe that. And you will see that it's every bit as much detailed, and by this list, you'll see there's additional duties and responsibilities that safeguard the court record. I am merely asking, and Judge Harrington, I believe in his, is merely asking that you let us amend our position for that slot to include a recorder if we're able to hire one or train one for that purpose. I had given some thought about maybe asking for a supplement for existing employees to be able to do that. I'm withdrawing that. I want to hire a full-time position, just like I would a reporter. Now, if a reporter walks in that door today, I'm going to be hard-pressed not to try to hire that person. I don't think that's likely. And I'm asking for this amendment so I can have a recorder under the law that's been provided since 2003 as well.
I understand that we're in the process now for getting approval to be able to use the recording system throughout Angelina County and all the courts.
Yes, I spent the weekend working on local rules that have to be approved at 3 other levels, and I don't think that'll be a great difficulty, but I'm in the process of doing that. Hope to have it done by next week, assuming I get this approval from the Commissioner's Court.
Okay. Gentlemen?
Is that something we can do out of budget?
Oh, it's not a budget item, it's just transferring the title.
Just the title?
This is, all this is just transferring the title to changing the descriptive title to, and from what I understand.
From a reporter to a recorder?
To a court recorder.
Most to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second for item number 10. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, gentlemen.
I have one other matter. I'm a little curious. I had a third agenda item about purchasing the equipment. And I don't see it on here.
It is. It's on it. It's further down. I'm gonna skip down to it as
Okay.
soon as I finish with item number 11. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
I stand corrected. I didn't see it.
Oh, that's all right. Just bear with me just a minute here. All right, item number 11 has been tabled. And item number 12, appearance of Judge Clyde Harrington, County Court Lot 2, to request approval to modify the title of the salaried position for reporter, court at law number 2 to reporter/recorder, county court at law number 2. That's a mouthful. The court anticipate utilizing an electronic recording system with an operator known as electronic recorder. Judge?
Basically, Judge White has explained this to you. What I would prefer is to have a court reporter. What's happened statewide, there's a shortage of reporters, and they can make a lot more in private industries. Other counties have experienced this problem before we have, and so they've raised their salaries. So Judge White and I've lost our reporter. And what I'm asking to do is just change the label of the budget item to court reporter/court recorder. And I think I can hire a court reporter or someone that's willing to be trained. It doesn't take a long time to train. And do that, cheaper than I can hire a reporter. I don't want to give up on someday trying to hire a reporter, but that's something for next year or the next year. But in order to function, we have to provide a court record. And to give you an illustration of the importance of that, back years ago, Judge Wilson had a reporter for a brief time, a court reporter. She worked through a capital murder trial where a death penalty resulted. It was David Lewis. She moved to Florida, and she lost the record of the voir dire of 3 jurors who were not on the jury. When we discovered that, we tried to reproduce that by calling those people back into court with another court reporter, and we questioned them, and we put it in the record, and we sent it to the Court of Criminal Appeals, and they reversed it for an incomplete record. So we lost the guilty of capital murder and lost the death penalty. And I had to retry that case completely over with 2 court-appointed lawyers, my staff, law enforcement, county paid-for defense experts and state experts, and those things cost a bunch of money. And it was all because of an incomplete record. So that's the importance. And so what I'm asking is basically this, and Judge White and I kind of agreed to be consistent in that way. If I'm gone one day and his system breaks, he can use my system. We'll do the same thing and try to get by. So that's, I'm asking the same thing, Judge White.
And incidentally, page 2 of that exhibit I've handed you, unlike court reporters, the recording of a recorder has to be permanently maintained at the courthouse. You don't lose it. And of course, we'll have a backup system for that as well. And so we won't have a repeat of that murder problem.
Exactly. All right. Gentlemen, any more questions?
Motion to approve.
Second. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes, and if you would, just stand by just a minute, and I'll skip down to these budget transfer items. We'll go ahead and take care of this. In an effort to move on, let's go ahead and take, if we can, with the court's approval, item 22 and 23 both together. They're both identical. Discussion action on budget transfer from 159 District Court from contingency of $6,000 to capital outlay and training of personnel, $4,500 and $1,500, and the same for discussion on item number 23 for court at law 2, the same amount of money. This is for the equipment and the training of this piece of equipment to move into what we've been discussing. Gentlemen?
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate your patience.
Thank you, Commissioner.
And,
All right.
Commissioners, thank you. I think this is visit number 5 in 19 years. I will do my absolute best before I leave office not to return.
Oh, you're welcome anytime.
And my apologies to the public that we leapfrogged this morning. I do not like that practice, but I do have court hearings this morning. Thank
If I may, before you go.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna need some direction on pay salary scale, in the future.
I appreciate
To be
that invitation,
competitive.
and we will give that to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that request. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now we get back on the regular agenda items. And let's move back to item number 8, discussion action on temporary closure of William Womack Road in Precinct 4 to prevent damage to existing road. Councilor Kirby, I understand that you've got some input on this. If you would, please approach the court and bring us up to date.
Judge, I think it was in December the court took this up before, and I indicated at that time that I would try to render an opinion to the court on the status of the road, as whether it's a public road or not.
I haven't completed that at this point, so and so as you're aware, I haven't submitted that to you. I can't, render you a legal opinion on it today. Is that the question at this point, Judge?
Yes, for us to proceed, I knew that you were working with
I
the
have,
Forest Service
I
on
will
the
report
status.
to you that I have met with the supervising ranger for the Forest Service in that area, Mr. Kempton Cooper, and in fact, he's in attendance today. He did, and we had some discussions about the road, and he did deliver to me today what they located yesterday, which appears to be a right-of-way easement from the Forest Service to the county that covers the William Womack Road. I just secured that this morning and have not had a chance to really look at it, but on the face of it, that does appear to be a conveyance from the Forest Service to the county as a public road. But that's the extent of my knowledge on that at this point. So I will look at that and closely and get back with the court on the determination on that. But it does appear there is a document conveying that property to or at least an easement to the county.
But at this time, you want to try to table to give further time to research the legality?
For me to give you what I would consider a valid opinion, yes, sir, I would ask you to give me a little more additional time to do that. It appears it's likely going to be a public road, but before I say for certain, I'd like to fully look at everything, including this document that I received today.
Okay. Gentlemen?
Motion to table.
Second. All right, we have a motion to table and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, item number 13, discussion action on a contract between Angelina County and the Army Corps of Engineers for increased law enforcement for the part of Sam Rayburn Reservoir lying within Angelina County for the purpose of enforcement of state and local criminal and civil laws. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, how are y'all?
Good, great.
This is our lake grant we've been doing, I know, for the last 7 years, I'm not sure. Nothing's really changed other than they had to cut the hours back a little bit. It's 100% grant, they pay for the vehicles, they pay for the deputies. Overtime to work down there, doesn't cost the county anything, so it's a win-win. We have, for them and us to patrol the lake.
Right. Gentlemen?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Captain. Hold on just a second. Item number 14, discussion action on request from the Sheriff's Office to apply for a domestic marijuana eradication grant for fiscal year 2020. Sir?
All right, we talked about this other day when we had the helicopter contract. Well, this is the grant that pays for the contract. They kind of got the cart before the horse this time, but this is all one package, and we just need to get the signatures. It's a reimbursement grant, just like the one we've had every year, which pays for this fuel and things. And of course, part of us administering this grant, and our part of it is there's a grant there for 100% purchase on equipment and supplies that we purchase every year.
We furnish a person.
Yes, we
Right.
do furnish
We furnish a
manpower.
person.
And I might add, it's mainly for our area or surrounding, we may assist the surrounding counties. It doesn't take a lot of our time, but we get a lot back in return.
Right. Gentlemen?
Motion approved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Need your signature?
Yes, this one will need your signature, yes.
Motion
Okay,
to approve the
instead of the
signature,
sheriff. Okay.
No, I'm sorry. The lake one needs your signature, the DME one doesn't. I'm sorry, I apologize.
Okay, all right.
I don't know why they do that, but that's a different one.
Okay, all right. Then let's back up to item number 13, and the agreement between the Angelina County and the Army Corps of Engineers. Let's modify that one for the judge's signature.
Motion to approve, authorize just,
All right?
Second.
We have a second. Motion and a second to approve the judge's signature on item number 13. And item number 14 is going to require the sheriff's signature.
Yes, sir.
Correct. All right. Did we finish with the vote?
We didn't vote.
Okay. All right, we did vote?
I don't think we did.
I don't think so.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
All right, if I could just take a second to add in
Certainly.
here. I just want to kind of publicly thank Janice. She really does all the hard stuff as far as the paperwork on this. And if she didn't want to do this and cooperate with me, I couldn't work on these grants. So she's always very cordial, and I send her something, next day it's right back. And I just wanted to thank you publicly for helping us out on that.
Thank you for your comment. All right, let's see. Okay, item number 15, appearance action of Kerry Kirby, County Attorney, to request approval of a proposed order specifying duties and responsibility of the Personnel Policy Committee. Good morning again, sir.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. At our last meeting, earlier this month, the court appointed a personnel policy rewrite and update committee. And I've submitted to you for consideration this morning a written order confirming the membership of that committee, but also specifying the duties of the committee. And important in that regard is that it clarifies that the committee itself is going to operate as an advisory committee to the court only. Is not going to be making the actual decisions as to what those policies will be. So it goes through step by step the duties of the committee, that the committee will review the existing policies and come up with recommendations as to proposed revisions to those policies, and will then submit those in writing to the court for consideration at a regular meeting, and that the court in this regard retains full authority to review those recommendations and to accept them as is, or to make further modifications if they choose, or to reject them. And this proposed order just lays out those duties and responsibilities so that there will not be any misunderstanding as to what the personnel policy is going to be doing, and or the personnel policy manual committee is going to be doing, and lay out the duties between them and the Commissioners Court. So I'd ask the court to consider approving this order. And it does also confirm the membership of the committee, which is the originally appointed 9 members, less Commissioner Pitts, who had withdrawn from the committee. So
Can we modify that membership list?
that would be within the authority of the court, yes.
Sure.
Because there's been some question of whether or not, as far as Attorney General's ruling, as far as a commissioner being on the court, and I'm speaking about myself.
As it's currently composed of, and with this order in place, I feel comfortable in rendering opinion to the court that it's.
Well, I'm willing to step down, but I'd like to appoint somebody to take my place. If the
The
court would
reason for
approve.
this order is to allow the commissioner to stay on it
Oh, okay.
without causing a problem.
No problem.
Okay. All right.
That's fine.
I mean, and the question I think you're getting at
Yes.
is whether it would be subject to the Open Meetings Act.
Yes, sir.
And that's part of the reasoning behind this order, is it clarifies that this is an advisory committee only, so I don't.
Okay, great.
I'm comfortable under the current membership with this order in place that it would not be subject to the Open Meetings Act.
Great.
Motion to approve with authorized signatures.
All right, and it'll take everybody's signature, so, okay,
So moved.
all right.
Second.
And we do have a second? All right. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Counselor.
Thank you.
All right, item number 16, appearance of Carrie Sims, County Extension Agent, to recognize the county commissioners for their participation in the training in Nacogdoches, Texas. The county commissioners were Kermit Kennedy, Terry Pitts, and Bobby Cheshire. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, thank you. Let me also introduce to you, I've got my cohorts here, but we're tickled to have our district director, Ms. Sheila Harris. Today is our performance appraisal, and she's in town. So anyway, she came, Judge Lumberry, you invited her to be a part of this, and also Joel Reedus, our family community health agent, Ryan Merrill, our 4-H and youth development.
The whole gang.
The whole gang is here. The Texas A&M AgriLife, you all know that we are an educational outfit. What many of the members here may not realize is that we've got, for county elected officials, there is we call it the B.G. Young Institute. And in AgriLife, there's a program that helps train for, let me get this right, institute annually officers continuing education for county judges and commissioners, as well as county tax assessor collectors and government human resource professionals. So many of y'all know Peter McGill. He's cohort of ours. Peter was the director of V.G. Young and was the ag agent in Victoria County before coming to that position. Now, Greg, you weren't able to make it December 4th due to family.
Yep.
And Judge, you were there, present, and accounted for, actively engaged and participated, but they do not offer county judges a certificate. So let me present these to you. Kermit, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Appreciate that. You bet. And also to, let's see, Terry.
Thank you,
All
sir.
right, thanks. All right, Bob. Appreciate it very much. Thanks so much for letting us come today.
You
Appreciate it.
bet, not a problem.
You bet.
All right. Good training. Thank y'all for appearing.
Thank you.
All right, item number 17, discussion action on a resolution to make Angelina County a Second Amendment sanctuary county. Commissioner?
Well, I have had numerous people around our county come to me and ask me to do this, and I was more than happy and willing to do so. Also note that most every county around us has already passed this resolution, and quite frankly, Angelina County is playing catch-up. What this resolution does is classify Angelina County as a sanctuary county for the Second Amendment. And without the Second Amendment, no other amendment means anything. And it protects the rest of the amendments. And if the court pleases the court, I'll read the resolution. Whereas the Constitution of the United States is the supreme law of our nation, the Second Amendment to the Constitution states, a well-regulated militia being necessary to secure the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And whereas the Texas Constitution, Article 1, Section 23 states, every citizen shall have the right to keep and bear arms in the lawful defense of himself or the state. Due to the dual sovereignty structure of the Constitution, the federal government has no authority to enforce state law, and the states cannot be compelled to enforce federal law. And whereas the last protectors of the Constitution are the county sheriff and we the people of the United States of America, and our ability to fulfill that role successfully rests on the Second Amendment rights. We, the people of Angelina County, Texas, through this resolution hereby declare our rights, our freedom, and our liberty as guaranteed by the Constitution of the United States of America. And whereas it is desired, if the Angelina County Commissioners Court to declare its support to the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution and the Texas Constitution protecting citizens' inalienable and inevitable rights to keep and bear arms. The members of Angelina County Commissioners Court took an oath to support and defend the United States Constitution, the Constitution of the State of Texas, and the laws of the State of Texas, insofar as they are constitutional. And now, therefore, be it resolved by the Commissioners of the County of Angelina, and by the authority granted by the Commissioners, by the court, by the law, and the State of Texas, the people of Angelina County, Texas, to stand and defend their rights and liberties which are guaranteed by the United States and Texas Constitutions. We hereby declare Angelina County a Second Amendment sanctuary county. Be it therefore resolved that the Commissioners Court affirm its support for the duly elected sheriff of Angelina County, Texas, in the exercise of his sound discretion, and affirm It's resolved to support decisions by the sheriff to uphold the laws of the state of Texas and to uphold the Constitution of the state of Texas and the United States. Be it therefore resolved that the Commissioners Court will not authorize or participate, Be it therefore resolved that the Commissioners Court will not authorize or appropriate government funds, resources, employees, agencies, contractors, builders, detainee centers, or offices for the purpose of enforcing laws that have been found to unconstitutionally infringe on the rights of the citizens. Witness our hands on this day in January 2020, authorizing the court to sign. Put that in the form of a motion.
I second.
All right. We do have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Any further questions? All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, gentlemen. All right. Well, let's see, we skipped down. 18's been taken care of. Oh, I'm sorry, no, it hadn't. Item number 18, discussion action on turning County Card at Law number 2, jewelry room into 2 offices, conference rooms into the offices, and large storage room into the office for new hires in the DA's office. Work to be performed by Moore Building Associates at the cost of $20,379. Electrical and data to be performed by Maintenance and IT Department at the cost of $1,240 for a grand total of $21,619. This is, we authorized the 5 new positions along with the grant for the DA's office up in the courthouse. We moved a bunch of files to the old jail in order to gain some extra room, and this construction work is to allow moving forward to bring these people in. Gentlemen?
The $20,000, is it allocated?
It is not allocated to a specific purpose, but the maintenance has stated that they do have the money for maintenance in the courthouse, and this is considered construction, but he does have the money to do this. We did this before we ever moved forward with the bids and everything.
So all this will be coming out of the maintenance budget?
Coming out of maintenance budget, correct.
Is Hilton okay with that? I mean,
Says he's got the money.
Hilton expressed that he would prefer that it come out of contingency and not out of his budget, because he never knows what's gonna happen during the year that he's gonna have to have his maintenance budget, but
that's what scares me.
Well,
We're early in the year, January.
we're early in the year, and if we take it out of the budget, we can always transfer later in the year if we have to. But right now, the money is there. Recommendation, he says he's got the money to take it out of maintenance funds. We knew we had these people coming. Now we're required to take care of getting the people
Judge
in.
Angelina, would you approach?
I'm here. I wasn't planning on talking about this.
Welcome, sir.
Well, I'm gonna tell you anyway.
If you would, state your name for the record, please, sir.
My name is Bob Enselman. I'm judge of the 217th District Court.
Good morning, Judge.
And, I think y'all maybe get a little appreciation of what's going on here. Judge White is and we're gonna be sorely missed when he steps down one day. We got a problem down at the old courthouse, folks. It's patched up, and we don't know whether the plumbing's gonna go first or the electrical's gonna go first. Crime is not gonna go away in Angelina County. If I was a assistant DA and I was looking for a job, I probably wouldn't come to Angelina County. First, I know from just around that we're on the lower end of the scales of the pay rates. And in their offices, they're tiny. And I'm not saying that you have to have some big office to be there, but literally they have a desk, and you have victims who come in to their offices, and you can hear through the walls. If you're on the phone in the district attorney's office, you can hear the person next to you, loud and clear. And we're talking about confidential, important matters in our county. And so because I'm part of the team. We're like a basketball team. We're all on the same team. It's the defense lawyers are, the prosecutors are, everybody has to work to get these cases resolved. Our jail population sits at 234 people, I think. This morning. I look at it virtually every day. I got an email yesterday from the jail. We're full. We're full in part because we don't have the assets down there. That includes people in the district attorney's office. I got a court reporter who's been doing this for 30 years. She gets $55,000. Judge White was kind enough to say the lady that left literally gets twice as much money. I'm going to come back here next month or next budget cycle, and I'm going to ask for $80,000. And you're going to go, well, that's ridiculous. Well, I'm going to tell you one thing that Judge White left out, and then he was probably thinking about other things. He's not going to try his jury trials with the recording system. He's going to be trying them with a court reporter, my court reporter. But Judge White and I share virtually everything. That's why I'm saying there's no better judge, and I've been in front of every judge for the last 30 years in Angelina County. There's no better judge than Judge White. But what happens if that next judge isn't as cooperative as me or Judge White? We're not going to be sharing a court reporter. I like the idea of a recorder, but I don't know what it's going to really turn out to be. But I know my reporter is one of the best in the state, and I've tried cases all throughout the state. So what I'm getting at is this. Our district attorney's office, we need it. We need it. We need to be hiring these people. We need to work. And I think the court has been kind. Y'all have been kind enough to give us the people. Now we need the assets, the physical offices to do their job. So I think it's we're going to turn Judge Harrington's jury room into 2 offices.
Correct.
Okay. By the way, those offices are tiny. Even the offices what you have is tiny. And then there's those 2 conference rooms at the end of the hall with the glass. I think they're literally going to put some chair rail on and paint them. We need flooring.
It's all in the bid.
Yeah.
And to give a total of 5 offices down that hallway with security and everything going down the hallway.
Because if we don't get this done, and Stephanie Stroud came from Walker County, and I'm not going to say anything nice about her, but without her doing it, this probably wouldn't have happened. And so we have a chance to have 5 new people. So we have the grant. It's already been done. We got to get moving on this.
I understand.
So Mr. Moore, Mr. Moore with Moore Building Associates, if y'all grant this thing, Mr. Moore, will you be there tomorrow? Okay. So Judge White does a much better job making a presentation, but is there anything I can do to answer any of your questions?
No, you're fine.
Y'all with me?
Judge.
Yes, sir.
Judge, you've known me for a while, and this is something that I've been talking about. I've talked to Judge White about it, talked to you about it, talked Mr. Martin. Is the need in Angelina County is greater than $21,619.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? I mean, we're looking, we need to seriously, as this, Angelina County needs to seriously look at new structure.
Yeah, and I'm not an expert. I went to A&M. I say we're an agricultural mechanical school, so we know it all, but we really don't.
Judge, it doesn't take an expert to walk over there and look at that facility and that structure and walk by somebody's office and see how cramped you really are.
Well, and here's where y'all can either, we can continue to Band-Aid things and just patch stuff. Or we can be progressive and think a little bit, and it's not me, but you go down to Polk County, they have a really nice courthouse, but across the street, they have a justice center. They do it, they've done it all throughout East Texas, and I'm not saying, I mean, we all know, we all wish we had the old courthouse and we could have a justice center, but we don't. But I'm asking y'all to literally consider thinking outside the box. And I know there was space that available, a building became available across the street. There's things that we've got to do. The old jail, I don't know, you tear it down and start all over.
Amen.
Or I don't know what you do, but we need to study something, but not only just study it, we need to do something, because it's not gonna get any better with Father Time. It's not.
What you said is absolutely correct. We're putting in my opinion, and that's all it is, we're putting a Band-Aid on a bleeding artery. And that's not how you fix arteries.
No.
And I'm not a doctor, okay? And everything we do has a dollar attached to it. And the people of Angelina County really need to understand the predicament that Angelina County is in. And we need to do a better job of getting our message out to the people of what this county needs. And it's up to this court to step up and do it.
It's either y'all gonna do it, or do it now, or you're gonna kick it down down the road. And
The
it's not
can's
gonna be
been kicked down the road for a number of years. Well, for, I don't know how many.
Gentlemen, this is a discussion that we're
Yeah,
gonna be.
okay,
doing.
This is a discussion
sounds
that
good.
needs to go for another
At
day,
the end
but-
of the year, when we do our budget concerns, right now, we're looking at trying to get these 5 offices.
Counselor?
You're right.
Most
Would you like to
approved.
speak?
All right, we have a motion to approve,
Ca-
with coming out,
Could I speak
Please.
certainly.
before you vote?
I'm Joe Martin, I'm the district attorney, and I do very much appreciate what you've done in getting us some help. What I wanted to talk about was a little bit about logistics. That area where we're talking about, I'm old enough to remember when that was one big open area. It was the district clerk's office. And so it's been changed into 2 conference rooms at the back. Those are the 2 with the glass. And then we have an office that we're using as you make the right-hand turn, the 90-degree turn, going back out toward the hallway. We have one office that Wanda Briley is in. Next to that are the 2, or it's Judge Harrington's jury room that you're talking about turning into 2 offices. And then next to that is a storage area that we had old files in that we just cleaned out. It doesn't have a door on that hallway. Its door is back on the main hallway. I didn't see that in here.
It's all part of it.
It was using that last storage space as turning it into the law library.
Correct.
Now, the issue logistically with that is that all those new walls that were put in there when you took that big open space that was the district clerk's office, not you, but when the county did, are all hollow walls. So what this proposal is talking about is having one of those offices that's in Judge Harrington's courtroom. There'll be a wall. There is a wall there. And then that storage space that'll now be the law libraries there. And that's just a hollow, thin wall. And I know who's going to be in that law library mostly. And what Judge Enselman talked about, he's going to be listening to and hearing my conversations with victims of sexual assault. I mean, it won't, we don't have, there's nothing in there for sound insulation. The other part is that the way I'm stacked up in my office now, I've got 2 people in one office.
I really need that other space, but it needs to have sound separation.
Mr. Moore?
Yes, sir.
What are we talking about as far as adding sound separation to the budget?
There's two parts of it. You have sound transmission through the wall, and you have sound transmission
Through the ceiling,
So
correct?
what you would be doing would be taking one side of the wall off and insulating it, and then probably insulate the others too.
I mean, I'm sure right off the top of your head, you have no idea how much that would
I can do something like that.
But
We'll-
that's the
we'll
problem. I
look
mean,
at
we're
that.
dealing, you're essentially dealing with the law office and the
I
confidentiality that we
understand.
have. And I don't want to mention names of somebody whose initials are DS. But he'll be in there
Right.
with a microphone recording what's going on between us and our victims, or us
Let's-
in discussing a case with the defense attorney.
Let's look at that as an additional, and we'll look at that as an additional add-on when we get moving forward with this. We have a motion on the floor
Okay.
now. We do not have a
Second.
second. We do have a motion and a second on the floor. Any further discussion?
Do I need to go ahead and bring that up too, that we may have an additional?
No, we can do
Okay.
that later on.
All right,
There'd be
that's
no
fine.
problem. There'd be no problem. I'm already aware of it.
Okay,
and
sounds good.
We knew that we had this to look at.
Yeah.
All right?
I want the
All
court.
in favor?
I'm sorry, before we vote, I want the court to take a very serious look at what Angelina County needs as far as way of a courthouse in the next 50 years. And I mean a serious hard look. We can go ahead and vote. I'm sorry, I get off my soapbox.
Is this gonna come out of Hilton's budget, the maintenance budget?
That's what we're talking about at this time. Yes. At this time, that's what we're talking about. He had already,
Thank y'all.
told me that it was fine and he could cover it. So I think that's what we need to do at this time. All right? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, item number 19, discussion action on budget transfer from juvenile services, budget 2019 from utility telephone 2394 to 2394 in supplies. This is just a book, housekeeping.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, gentlemen. Item number 20, discussion action on budget transfer for Road and Bridge number 4, 2019, from fund balance $250.98 to telephone $250.98.
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 21, discussion action on budget transfer from the auditor office from vehicle expense 125 to insurance vehicle 125.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right. Item number 22, discussion action on budget transfer from 159th District Court from contingent.
We already
Oh,
done it.
We've already taken care of both of these. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. All right. Let's go down to item number 24, consider any miscellaneous and routine items. Gentlemen, y'all have them in front of you. While those items are being looked at, I would like to make a comment. We've got a census coming forward. We're gonna be heavily involved in the census, and it is so very, very important for the county to be totally immersed and involved in this census count. We need to get the people out. I've got people coming toward the end of the week. We're gonna start setting up committees. We're gonna bring a referendum to the court, probably the first court in next month. and we're going to be getting heavily involved in the census count. And I would like the record to show that this is very important for funding. It's very important for the court to realize just how critical this census count is. And I'll get off my soapbox.
Has everybody looked at what, everybody okay with, cause I make a motion to approve.
No. I want to exclude the internal auditor's report at this time because there's some inaccurate information on it.
The what?
We can approve it at a later date when the information is correct.
Is that in the form of a motion?
Yes.
All
Yeah,
right.
I'll retract mine. I don't know what we're talking about.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to exclude the auditor's miscellaneous items report because of a error that needs to be discussed later on. Everything else being approved, correct?
Yes.
All right.
That's the one about the school, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, okay, I got it. A second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, item number 25, consider approval and authorization for payment of the bills as submitted by the county auditor.
Motion to pay the bills.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to pay the bills. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 26, recess or adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank y'all's patience.